Anyway, John Wick 4. I'm gonna prepare
Ugh.
for this, dude.
You take your glasses off.
I'm probably gonna
They're gonna get steamed up.
This is an unpopular opinion.
No, it's not.
That movie sucked.
It was bad.
It was so bad. I love the first one. I adore the second one. I think the third one is awesome.
Shit.
The fourth one, trash. This was so dumb.
Trash.
Like everything wrong with slaction movies, which is just action movies that take a really thin plot from one scene to another with no real tension and no real delivery. And they're just like, well, we're slapping stuff on the screen for you to watch. Like that is what this movie did.
For some reason, John Wick turned into a John Wick knockoff.
Yeah. It felt like a knockoff.
It turned into a Chick Wick movie.
That's a really appropriate way to describe it.
Yeah.
John Wick became a knockoff of itself.
Yeah.
It really did. The choreography of the first three movies was slick.
There's something
when you had multiple people coming towards you, you would see them think through it in the stunts and say, okay, what would I do if I have more than one person coming at me? I would do this, this, and this. And you would watch them like choreograph these fight scenes perfectly to the point where like you actually believed that this dude was like, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch of your imagination, but you had fun watching it. In this movie, they pulled like the lowest common denominator stunt choreography where like he would shoot one dude, and the bullets don't do anything in this movie either. You would shoot one dude and he would sit there and stagger for like 10 minutes while you kick the other guy's ass.
It was like a video game.
It was so
That's
dumb.
exactly what I was going to say. Alex and I look at each other and we go, this is just nothing but levels in a video game, complete with the map area and the side quests and the rewards. It was ridiculous.
I think we should warn our audience that we are going to be spoiling the shit out.
We're going to spoil the shit out of this movie,
but you don't want to go see it anyway, so it's okay.
No, save your $20.
Save it for streaming. It really like.
Now I will say this: it was a fun movie to watch at least once.
Yeah,
I really liked the action scenes. If you cut out all the action scenes from this 3-hour movie, because it is like 2 hours and 50 minutes, the movie would be 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
I think they jumped the shark.
They absolutely did. They jumped the shark. And it's not only that they jumped the shark, they did a bad job with it. The choreography is not as good.
It's not.
The CGI is trash. It's absolute trash.
Maybe it's because we saw it on like a 85-inch screen.
I literally, there's one scene where I literally see a bunch of pixels in the middle of the screen. And this might be because I was, feeling good last night.
Maybe.
But I literally saw a batch of pixels come up on the screen really quickly, and then they disappeared. But you can totally tell that it's animated and fake in many, many parts of this movie in the action scenes.
There's no blood in this movie unless
the style is completely different from the other three movies. You know what I'm saying? There's something organic and ridiculously fake, but still seems real about the first few movies, especially the first two, when they're just doing the gun fu stuff you
know what it is? It's like there was a certain level of realism to it.
Yeah.
So like when John Wick got hit by a car, it felt like he got hit by a car. In this movie, he gets hit by like 20 cars.
Oh my God.
He falls out of like the 5th story of a building like 8 times.
Right.
Lands on concrete, lands on vans, and he just gets up and he's just like, oh, that hurt. And then like he gets back to like kicking ass.
Yeah,
it's like the level of punishment he took in this movie, it got to comic book level.
Yeah, it is. It's what they've done is they've done the same thing the Fast and the Furious movies have done. They went from a really cool concept movie.
Yeah, and
then they just went full comic book MCU bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, John Wick might as well have a fucking cape and spandex. It's for real. He's
indestructible. He unlocked God mode in this movie.
Yeah,
like
when they got all these stupid bulletproof fucking.
Don't get me started on like
it's just
when they introduced the concept of a Kevlar suit in like the first few movies. It was like, this will give you an edge on the competition. Right. It's not like
bulletproof.
Hold your cape up and stop a bullet.
You're not wearing a 1-inch piece of tempered steel.
Yeah, literally half the movie, he was running around with his jacket in front of his face, getting bullets shot at him and just deflecting them. I was like, this is nonsense.
And the guys who were fighting against had the exact same type of suits.
Yeah.
And I can understand like, okay, we have to have situations where he actually does get shot, but we don't want to wound him. like I felt like I was playing like the Division. I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
the bullet sponges.
Yeah. It's basically they had like a bunch of bullet sponge mobs that he had to like kill and get through, and even like the guys in like the weird like samurai assault gear at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, like he'd just be like shooting at their armor, and then he'd have to get up close and stab them at like a kink in their armor or something like that.
Yeah.
Even that didn't kill him right away.
Yeah, they would stagger and get up, and then he would like go kick somebody else's ass and then come back to the other dude and finish him off.
You know, for the first 45 minutes of this movie, I was wondering where John Wick even was. Because it was all about this hotel in Osaka. And
the Japanese characters that we don't know and don't care about?
Don't know about and don't give a shit about.
Yeah. So they spent a lot of time on this little family dynamic.
Oh, hey, you know, we might be making a TV show about these people. So we probably should give them
30 minutes.
We're going to give them a lot of setup and stuff.
But
in the show.
What really took me out, and I was kind of eye rolly, but I was still enjoying the fun fight scenes because they're dumb, but they're fun. So I was kind of like, okay, and they're very colorful and very bright, and the set pieces are cool. So there's that. So I was in, and then when we go to Russia and he has to earn his way back into his family.
It wasn't Russia.
It was Germany.
It was
Berlin, but they had a Russian family there or something like
so
that.
like his Russian,
they're gypsies.
His Russian cult was like based out of Berlin for some reason.
Anyway,
they don't really explain a lot.
This was when the video game took over completely.
Yeah.
And we were like, I literally leaned over to you and I'm like, this is side quest. Here, he's gonna get a side quest right now. Watch. And she's like, I won't let you back into the family unless you kill this man and bring proof of death. And I'm like, oh, all right. So he has to go kill this other boss.
Yeah.
Get a
get
a coin and then bring it back.
It's like when you're in Diablo, playing Diablo, right? You're just like going around killing the wandering ways. Oh, there's a cave. I wonder what's in that cave. It's like, oh, if I go down to the third level of this cave and kill this boss, I'll get a new shiny thing I can take to somewhere. Yes, get out.
You know what killed me about this section of the movie is that like he has to go to this Berlin nightclub in order to like find this like Berlin assassin who's like this dude in a fat suit.
Yeah.
And the entire time I'm watching this, so like John Wick is brutally murdering like a bunch of people in the middle of the dance floor of this nightclub, and you see all these like Russians like douche.
Yeah,
like,
they're still going out
dancing, and like the entire time like people are like dying right next to them. And sometimes you'll see the dancers be like, oh shit, that's weird. And then like the next cut, they'll be back dancing.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, is this a German thing? Do they just not care about people being slaughtered in front of them?
I know there's people in the chat going, this is a fun movie. This is a great movie. You guys don't understand. It's like, listen, this is not a successor to the first three movies of this show. It is completely different.
No, go watch Gunpowder Milkshake and you'll see what we're talking about. Because that movie is a chick Wick movie.
This is literally a John Wick knockoff with
John Wick in it.
John Wick in it.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to me.
It bums me out. It did bum me out. Yeah.
Do you know how much of a knockoff this movie is? What did you guys think when basically in the third act it turned into a remake of The Warriors?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remake of The Warriors.
It's like, oh, we're just gonna do John Wick 2 for the first for that middle third part of this movie. It's like, hey man, just take me on the boat to as close as you can to the place where I'm having a duel. But then the thing with the radio chick,
and
it's like, oh, we're gonna get all these Paris assassins to go out, and it's not like you don't know he's not gonna get to the end.
Yeah, there's no tension.
There's no tension in this.
But
it's like, oh shit, he better go up those 280 step stairway.
That scene. No, hold on, we're not there yet.
It's just it's so dumb.
That scene where he's fighting, like they have a map of the city on the wall. And it's like got this black glow, right? And every time he moves, they're like, oh, now he's at this checkpoint.
Yeah.
Now he's at this checkpoint.
You know all these video games on your phone where you put like Super Mario World where you like go to this zone.
Yeah.
Then you go up the path to this zone.
That's literally what this movie was.
To this zone. So the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, the whatever, all these
church,
places. It's like there's just different zones on the map. And he has to kill the boss at every fucking place. Yeah. And at every place they have a big action sequence.
That big fat dude in the purple suit. The big fat guy in the purple suit, dude.
We went full.
I can't. I couldn't even do it. I was like, this belongs in Sin City. What is this?
Oh, Sin City or Dick Tracy. He was a cartoon villain.
And he acted like a cartoon villain.
We've gone from the Russian mob guy, in the first movie, who was like one of my favorite bad dudes. ever. I love that guy, the dad.
Vigo.
You know,
Why did you hit my son?
Why did you kill my son?
Well, because he stole John Wick's car.
Because he killed my dog. Okay.
Okay.
It's like, but you know that
he was a realistic character.
He was a realistic character.
Yeah.
He didn't have a fucking metal plate on his head.
It was like a James Bond
or giant fucking ears, or big nostrils in the nose.
What do you think about
the fat guy? Looked like he belonged in Dick Tracy.
He's a Dick Tracy villain.
What about the scene where he actually fights the guy and the big fat Russian dude who's already been shot several times?
He's German, actually.
Sorry, big fat German dude who's been shot several times goes out and starts doing spin kicks against John Wick. I'm like, this
after he takes a puff of his
I'm gonna take my inhaler. He takes it. I'm like, oh my god,
it was so bad.
It's like a far cry from where this movie's franchise has been.
Yeah, like the part where they're playing cards. So like when John Wick is delivered to this Berlin assassin guy, he's sitting at a card table like you'd see in a casino, and he plays a 5-card hand with him, the blind assassin dude, and the hunter guy. And for somehow, I don't know if you guys thought about this at all, the blind guy played by Donnie Yen. Yeah. He somehow is able to tell what hand he has.
It's because he's that good.
Yeah.
Because he can count cards.
But did you guys notice the guy who played the hunter, Shamir Anderson? Did you recognize him at all?
I've seen his face before, but I don't remember what it was from.
So he's in one of our all-time favorite TV shows, Invasion. He was the black soldier.
He was the soldier guy.
He was the soldier, the guy with the dog?
Yeah. Okay.
I actually didn't really mind his character. He seemed like he could be a
He's the most realistic one in there.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Whiskey Jack. I'm surprised we're getting any super chats today because we're not going to be popular, and that's okay.
No, I'm looking at Danny likes it again.
Well, somebody in there's like got their caps lock stuck on.
Yeah.
Whiskey Jack for £2. Love you guys. Metal sign. Getting full Dead Sea on Wick 4. Yeah, I was not a fan of this movie, man. I'm so sorry. There was something that Danny commented about the overhead shot, and I was like, that was cool.
That was interesting
change. I did not like it, but when I was watching it, all I could think about was that stick figure game that you can play on your phone, where all you do is like you can just move like this.
They literally went full video game.
Let me be clear about something. The action scenes in this movie
next level
were great. They were fantastically choreographed, shot. Like I really like the overhead thing with like the fire shotgun.
The fire shotgun was dope.
It got a little bit overplayed.
But here's the thing though. We're talking about the substance of this movie. Like previous John Wick movies actually had substance to them. You cared about what was going on. You cared about the characters. You cared about the world building. This felt like a huge step back in all those things.
Yeah.
You should have heard Jude. Like she was constantly sighing throughout this movie. She was like, does no one know how to do accents anymore?
Yeah.
Like no one's accent, especially like the marquee guy. Like none of their accents sounded authentic. This movie in the third act basically becomes a remake of The Warriors,
where they just run through the town.
But and it's a shameless ripoff too. But the thing that got me the most every time Winston showed up on screen, I was just like, this movie is all about Ian McShane's dentures now.
Okay. Oh my God, those dentures were so big.
Yeah. Not only were they big, but they were like bright white and they were so obviously fake teeth. And they affected how he spoke.
They did change his accent. I was like, something's different. But what is this guy talking about? Woke points? Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Not at a single point in time have we said, no, we needed more women in this movie. You're going crazy, dude. Relax. Just because we didn't fucking like the movie doesn't mean we want fucking trans people in it. You're an idiot. No, I just like, it's a far cry from what I loved about the first 3 movies is the world building, the Continental and this and that. This movie was just like, well, kind of, we'll mention a couple of things about that, but overall it's just going to be getting John Wick from point A to point B. And when you talk about the choreography, I know you said you liked it. There's moments that I liked, but there's so many inconsistencies with how the bullets work in this movie. Like sometimes he gets shot and he gets blown across the room. Sometimes he gets shot.
He's bulletproof now.
And it doesn't do anything. And then sometimes like the guys in the silver suits, they would get shot and nothing would happen to them. But then the lady would walk up and stab him with a knife and they'd be like, oh my God. And then she would like climb up that one dude that was on the staircase.
Yeah, the knife would actually go through the bulletproof suit.
I'm like, hold on, man.
It's like I'm not saying that the action scenes aren't good, but they're just they didn't feel like
Wick.
They didn't feel like Wick.
Yeah, I know.
And there was too many of them, and they were too long. This movie should have been an hour shorter than what it was.
Easily.
And there were too many times where like John Wick would basically get like thrown off of like a second or third story thing.
Oh god.
And hit concrete.
Yeah.
And then get up like nothing happened. Like there's a whole set piece in this movie where he falls down like multiple flights of stairs, and like we're talking like concrete stairs. And he's just like, okay, like he just pops back up.
Yeah.
And like not injured at all.
That was another thing too. So like I thought I think it was the third movie when he fell off the top of the roof after Winston shot him. Was it the first, second?
That was the third one.
Third one. When he fell off that roof, I was like, oh man, they're really stretching his like that was a stretch.
So when he fell off the roof, it was a stretch. And then when he fell down the steps, and that fucking Benny Hinn movie moment.
Yeah. Like, he shoots everybody, gets to the very top, and then the boss level guy kicks him back down.
And he falls
all the way back down to the bottom and has to fight his way back up with Donnie Yen.
I want Matt or one of you editor guys to take that sequence someday. And just and speed it up, and place it with the Benny Hill music.
But you know, like in John Wick 3, when he falls off the top of the Continental after getting shot by Winston, like he hits certain things on the way down that kind of breaks his fall. But by the time he gets to the bottom, like he's almost dead.
It's ridiculous.
And Lawrence Fishburne's homeless army has to basically like save his ass. In this movie, that fall type thing happens multiple times.
Yeah.
And he just gets up and brushes off. Like he's basically indestructible up until the very end.
Until the plot needs him to be destructible. It's all just plot convenience stuff. And I was like, you know, in the other movies, when he got injured, he would have to go seek help. He would have to have friends that would be able to, you know, keep him undercover. In the first movie, he had Willem Dafoe protecting him, and then he had that doctor who was stitching him up.
You know what I really thought was good?
What's that?
I had no idea. I had no idea that blind people could fight so well.
And well, he was
amazing. He was so good. It was like he was the best fighter. He was so good. The best fighter in the movie. It's like it was just I was so amazed at how a blind person could overcome his disability.
He was
such an amazing fighter.
What's his name in freaking what's that movie?
They really fucking played on that.
Rogue One. What's that movie? Rogue One.
Chirrut.
Yeah, something like that.
I love that actor. Don't get me wrong.
Donnie Yen's awesome.
He's awesome.
Donnie Yen's cool.
Awesome.
But like,
come on,
even
already.
When he grabbed the gun and he would just like bah, 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 and just aimlessly shoot at a bunch of people. Because in the beginning of the movie, he had these little like doorbell things that would let him know where people were. But then they only used those once. And the rest of the movie, he was just like picking people off with headshots. I'm like,
it was like, is he
blind
Daredevil?
or not?
Is he Daredevil?
Yeah. I mean, ding dong. Oh, he's over there now.
I mean, there was also that scene where he had to have a showdown with Hiroyuki Sanada's character. And I was like, you could have just let him go. Like, you didn't have to fight him. Like, you were there for John Wick. So, like, what was the point of that? Because, like, they were supposed to be, like, old friends, right?
Yeah, I don't... Well, he had the leverage over him, right? Because it was his daughter.
And then his daughter goes to John Wick, and and she's like, you have to... Either you kill him or I will. And John Wick's just like, yeah. And then, like, by the end of the movie, you're like, wait, what happened to that plot line?
Doesn't matter.
Danny, feel free to pull the trigger on Mr. Quaid. He doesn't want to be here. He can go fuck off. All right.
I don't know what
fucking
his deal
clown.
is. He's just still really mad at us because we didn't like the movie.
He thinks he's edgy because he's calling me the bearded fat guy.
Yeah,
bro, right. I call myself worse shit than that every day. Fuck you.
I'm surprised that as many people have said that they like this movie.
Dude,
like it's
if Jude were here, it would be another level of salt.
Oh,
she
God.
hated this movie.
Yeah. I was just disappointed because I love the first three and I felt like they stretched you a little bit on the disbelief thing, but they kept it in the realm of realism and you could go along for the ride. This one, they just, like I said, they just jumped the shark and I couldn't get on board because I'm like, the fight scenes were not as clean as the old movies. The bad guys were not as cool as the old movies.
And like, you know what else was weird? It was the fight scenes that were good were just recycled.
Yeah,
it was the same pop move.
I mean, in the first movie, they would actually count how many times they shot a gun and make sure that like it would line up with like the reload.
Yeah, that opening scene when he gets when those assassins come to his house after they kill his dog and they come back and they try to kill him. Like
Yeah.
the magazines add up, and
Mhm.
this is just unlimited ammo, God mode, like video game status. And I just, to me, I held the Wick movies at a higher standard.
Yeah.
They were the standard that I held every other action movie to. And
Yeah.
now I feel like this
It's
fourth one,
not meeting its own expectations.
this fourth one just took it down a notch and was like, well, we just need to end the story and get
Yeah.
John Wick out of the picture and move on to this TV show. And I'm like, that was a really unsatisfying ending for me. And I think that might be why I'm so salty about it. Because if they're gonna end this franchise with, as far as like John Wick, the character goes, I wanted them to really keep it at that level.
So big spoiler is that at the end of the movie, it looks like John Wick is dead.
Yeah.
You guys actually think he's dead, or
Honestly,
is this just like an open-ended thing?
I kind of don't care.
I
I kind of don't care. I don't want him to be dead, but I kind of don't care.
don't know. Keanu Reeves is pushing 60.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer he's gonna be able to do that.
I didn't feel like most of the scenes actually had him in it anyway.
You think it was all stunt?
I saw a lot of stunt people in this movie, and that was because it wasn't edited that great.
Do you think it really? Because he did a lot
I'm
of his
not
own
saying he
moves.
doesn't do his own stuff. I'm saying there was a lot of stuff with stunt people intercut into this.
There was a couple scenes, and again, I think this might be because I could see it on a freaking 85-inch or 85-foot screen, but there's a couple scenes where I could see the padding on the stunt guys that were getting shot. Like they had these like skin tight suits, and then you'd be able to see underneath that they had a bunch of padding and squibs and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just the quality,
the production value wasn't as good.
Yeah.
And they were trying to make up for it in all these elaborate set pieces. If that's all this movie was, it was set piece action scene, 3 lines of him going, yeah.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to. I don't really care if Keanu has like a whole big bunch of lines, because Keanu in the old movies he didn't say much either, and that's fine.
But he was like really. It was really next level.
What'd you think about the main bad guy? That's that guy who played It from the Stephen King movies. What's his name?
Peter Skarsgård.
No, is it Skarsgård?
The main bad guy, the Marquis.
Yeah, the Marquis. It is a Skarsgård.
Yeah,
I just don't remember
because his Alexander Skarsgård is the guy from True Northman, right? I felt like
he was having fun with the role.
I liked the way he looked.
It was fine,
but I thought the build up to the ending, I really thought him and John Wick were going to actually go hand in hand and fight, and I was really looking forward to that, because like when they were sitting down at the table and they're like, "I challenge you to a duel" or whatever. I thought they were going to go like, okay, sunrise, swords, this and that. And it was going to be like the ending battle scene for him fighting against this one guy. And it was just it was him and Donnie Yen playing a trick on him. And that was really disappointing as well. I was so disappointed with this movie, man. My expectations were super high and I just got really let down. And I know I'm not going to be popular about this. And there's a lot of people who, I liked it. It's a good movie. It's like, fine, man, enjoy it. Like it. Go watch it again. That's great. I'm good. I'm not going to. I'll go back and watch 2 and 3.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that has helped this franchise is that the first John Wick movie is so rewatchable. Like you can go back, watch that movie 100 times. It's still as good the 100th time as it was on the first time. I feel like movies like John Wick 4, even though I really liked it, I found it fun. There's not a lot of rewatchability to it. Like it's almost 3 hours long.
Yep.
And once you've seen those action scenes like 1 or 2 times, you're going to just start being bored with them, because like it's about the spectacle. And that's one of the problems with slaction movies that we found is basically like, once you're past the initial, like, oh, wow, that was really cool. There's nothing to it to basically hook you in on rewatches.
Yeah. And I want to mention Nick Clark in the comments that the movie promised, God, I can't freaking read. This movie's promise was that he would take down the high table. I was disappointed that they didn't fulfill that or do something better. I totally agree. The high table still is out there. This Skarsgård guy, the French dude that he had to fight, was just like a minion of the high table. So I didn't feel like anything was accomplished at the end of the movie either. The people that he was trying to get his ring back from and that he was trying to gain his freedom from, they're still there. The society, the Continentals, the high table, nothing's changed. So the end of the movie gave you nothing except for just a bunch of actions.
Can we talk about Lance Reddick for a second?
Sure. Lance Reddick.
Yeah. Chiron, Winston's
the valet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lance. He recently passed away. Yeah. I was surprised that he died. I didn't think he was going to
Well,
die.
I
in this
think
movie.
everybody was surprised. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean are you
in the
mean
movie? Yeah.
Yeah, I was not happy about that.
I wasn't either. That was kind of a.
He could have been, if they're expanding this universe, they're going out into television and stuff, streaming shows. He could have been like, they could have made a whole show about him.
Yeah, but they can't now.
No, they can't because he's dead.
But
Yeah.
I was just like going in with the knowledge that this will probably be the last movie that I see him in, and then him getting shot in the chest. I was kind of like, oh,
good.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Was pretty harsh.
Well,
but
have you guys heard that like because this movie's doing so well at the box office that they're considering bringing Keanu back for a 5th one?
No, sure, why not?
You see, they killed him. They've killed this.
Well, we never saw him dead.
Yeah, we saw him die on the steps. He told Winston what he wanted on his tombstone and to take him home because he knew he was going to go down, sit down, and die. It was completely implied, and I don't have any problem. We literally saw his dead corpse on the top of the steps, and that's fine.
He said his wife's name, and then he keels over.
He said heaven.
No, Helen.
Helen.
Her
Okay,
name.
well, whatever.
Yeah,
but and it's a good ending. It was a fine ending for what his character was.
For Wick. Yeah,
I don't want him to come back. That's too comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't watch Wick movies because I want a comic book movie. It was just something different about these movies that were fun and gritty and original and cool. You know what I'm saying? And now that they've done the Fast and Furious approach and turned them into fucking comic book movies, I've lost a lot of interest in my enthusiasm for this franchise now.
I think if they bring
this movie ruined this franchise for me.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. Wow. So
I think if they bring it to TV and they lower the budget, I think we'll get back to what we like about John Wick.
We'll just get the Kung Fu Fight of the Week. I got
right.
Warrior for that.
Warrior's a better show. It's better written.
What did you guys think of the reveal that Winston is John Wick's dad, real dad?
Do you really think he meant that?
I do. Yeah. I think that was like the big reveal at the end, and it explains why Winston's always like treated John Wick was so favorably.
That's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a little too late, maybe. Yeah. I think they probably should have revealed that earlier on in the movie, and then that would have given John Wick more of a reason to maybe rescue him or something. Like maybe the main villain guy, like gets Winston and he's like, I'm gonna kill him if you don't do X, Y, and Z. That'll give him motivation.
I'm really kind of annoyed that they killed him because him and the guy that makes these movies, they said as long as people want these movies, we'll keep making them.
Well, I thought you said you didn't want him anymore.
I don't want a John Wick movie without John Wick in it. But I also, now that he's dead, I don't want him to come back to life because then it's just bullshit. People don't come back to life in this world. You get shot in the chest, you get shot in the head, and you fall off a 30-story building and you die. That's it.
Well, in the third movie, when he fell off that building, they had to like scoop him up off the pavement and take him down there and heal him up for however long it was. Like they went too cartoony with this.
It's
one.
Way too cartoony.
That scene in the road going around that arch,
the Arc to Triumph.
Yeah, that whole scene where the traffic just keeps going around in circles around them.
Been cut out of the movie.
There was literally scenes where like a car would hit him, and then the next clip is him standing up, and there's no driver in the car. There's nobody like you were talking about the editing and the care that goes into these movies just wasn't there. There was mistakes and things that I was watching along the way. And I'm like, oh, there's no driver in that car anymore. I guess he got out and ran away. Yeah. Why is the traffic still going when there's like 45 people on the road dead with their heads blown off? Like there's just, it took the believability away from it for me.
We're not getting thumbs up today. Nobody likes what we're saying.
No,
fuck you guys.
But that is an immersion breaking thing when the traffic around the Arc de Triomphe still going on despite this huge shootout that's happening. When people in the nightclub are still dancing despite people literally getting like limbs chopped off like right next to them. There was a lot of stuff in this movie that just it looked cool, but like it didn't make any sense. It was so far outside the scope of the first movie, which set everything up so brilliantly. Like there was a realism to the first John Wick.
Yeah.
And that realism has slowly been stripped away in favor of this like mythology building stuff where it's like this criminal organization and these assassins just operate with impunity and no one seems to care about it.
We lost a sub.
Did we?
Yeah. Quaid told us to fuck off. John Wick should stay dead. It was a perfect ending.
Quaid, I don't think Quaid's a member anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. He was upset with us because he called us weak. We're weak men.
Yes, we're soy boys.
Soy boys, because we didn't like John Wick 4. Shut the fuck up.
Uh,
I love the first 3 movies. They're awesome. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't want to just repeating myself, but it just wasn't for me. I did not have a great time with this
it
movie.
became a parody of itself.
It did. I feel like it really did. I was bummed out.
It's sad.
What would you give it at first? A star rating?
2 maybe.
Really?
Yeah, 2.5 if I stretch it.
Let me give the first one 5, right?
I don't think I've
give
given.
it
I think
4.
these are all 4.5.
4.5, 5.
And this one's a steep decline. Steep.
It's a bummer.
It really sucks. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed out.
I went into this movie really excited. It's like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm gonna get another John Wick movie, and it's an hour longer than the other ones, and it's gonna be awesome. And it just wasn't, man. It just became a victim of its own whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good. It's all right. Next subject for today. Comment below. I see everybody's chatting it up, like what they thought of. If you like it, man, cool, great. Go support it.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you not to go see it.
For
It wasn't for me. If you yeah, things escalated quickly with that guy. Yeah, for sure, Danny. Thanks for being there, Danny. I would encourage you to go watch it. If you want to go watch it, if you like John Wick, go check it out.
I think I liked it more than you guys did. I'd give it a solid 3 stars, and I would recommend people go check it out, especially if they like the previous John Wick movies. It was not the best entry in the series.
No,
I would agree with that. But like, it was a fun movie. I did have fun watching it, unlike Jude, who hated life.
That's the thing, though. I did not have fun watching this movie.
I was just rolling my eyes the whole time.
I was literally, I was like, what is happening the whole time?
Yeah.
This doesn't feel.
I think it was
like
his
a John Wick
I think it was
movie.
the motivation for John Wick. Like, we've always been attached to, like, oh, they killed my dog, I'm gonna go get revenge. Like, yeah, like this one, I didn't know what he was doing.
It's like, how many times is that dog gonna bite somebody in the nuts in the movie?
Well, also,
So, come on.
there's a scene where that dog got hit by a car and it just got up.
It got up and walked away.
It's a strong ass CGI dog, dude. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for John Wick. That's enough bashing. We've lost enough subs off of that alone. Salt. Yeah, that's told
what
you.
we do, guys.
I told
That's
you
what we do.
we were gonna earn our name this week. We are not gonna shill for anything, even if we love the franchise. We're not gonna tell you
Like, if we like it, we'll tell you. If we
Yeah.
don't, we're gonna.
This is the
salt
name
it
of the
up.
game, guys. That's who we are. So if you don't like it, too bad.